Good morning. In this class, we're discussing about the open cycle gas power plant. Okay, so the last of the series, we see about what is the basic structure we have to use it for the open gas power plant. That is called as a simple layout for the open gas power plant. So here, I have to introducing the two components. Is called as the intercooling and a regenerator. Okay, and also reheater. Okay, so these are the element I have to coupled with the high compressor turbine and a high pressure with a compressor, low pressure compressor, and a high pressure turbine and low pressure turbine. So these are the components you have to using that. Why I have to using introducing the additional components here is the efficiency of the open cycle gas power plant. For the previous diagram, we have to increasing for this case. Okay, so first of all, how is the working of the open cycle gas power plant? So let's consider. So this is my low pressure compressor and a high pressure compressor, and a high pressure turbine and low pressure turbine, and an alternator and a starting motor. Okay, so what is the main purpose here working is the air is air into intake from the atmosphere, and it can be filtered through and passes through the low pressure compressor. Then low pressure compressor can be coupled with the high pressure compressor, and in between the low pressure compressor and the high pressure compressor, the exhaust gas can be transferred into the intercooler. Okay, so the intercoolers can be connected the other end of the high pressure compressor. So already the gaseous form will be coming in this in from the low pressure compressor. In additionally, we have to cooler, then it can be processed to the high compressors. Okay, so then high compressor can be exit at the regenerators. Okay, so what is the regenerators can be is a further heat can be added to it. Okay, so the heat can be added in the after coming from the high pressure compressor. Okay, the air can be highly heated then regenerated. That is the purpose of regenerator. Again, it passes to the combustion chamber. So here the main working of this, the gas can be compressed in a high pressure. Okay, so then it can be passes to the high pressure turbine. So once the turbine is can be rotated, okay, the electric power is automatically generated. But here I have to additionally I have convert as a low pressure turbine is in between the reheater. Okay, so once the exhaust gas of your high pressure turbine, it can be passes to the reheater. Okay, so what is the purpose of reheater is the heating the air medium from the high pressure turbines. Okay, it passes through the low pressure turbine, and it can be connected to the regenerator and the exhaust to the atmosphere. So this is the working of the open cycle gas power plant. So now we will go for the closed cycle gas power plant means. So here the air is can be entered into the one side, then the exhaust gas can be transferred to the atmosphere. But here, not like that. Okay, so here the cycle will be processed continuously. If you have what is called as if you have a more efficient, more efficient, the cycle can be continuously processing. Okay, so here also what are the components here? Main element is the low pressure compressor, high pressure compressor, high pressure turbine, low pressure turbine, alternator, and starting motors. Okay, so in between low pressure compressor and high pressure compressor, the intercooler can be connected, and between the high pressure turbine and low pressure turbine, I have to connect the reheater. Okay, so these are the main components. Okay, the one cycle is can be processed through the one end side of the combustion chamber. The other end can be returned to the low pressure. Again, the process can be continued. So here I have to starting from recooler. Okay, so from the recooler, the low pressure air is that is air can be from this atmosphere. It can be processed to the low pressure compressor. The low pressure compressor is coupled with the high pressure compressor. Okay, so what happen is the low pressure compressor is can be exhaust gas can be passed to the intercooler. Okay, so the intercooler also is can be cooling the air, that is can be further processed to the high pressure compressor. So after that high pressure compressor is can be going for the regeneration. So what is the purpose of regeneration means? The add up the heat. Once you are what is called as the heat can be once your compressor can be, it can be further can be we have to heat it, so that the heat regenerator is can be using for that, and also combustion chamber also there. So what is the purpose of combustion chamber is, so you have to add the more heat. Okay, the air can be is fully more heated and can be is a passes to the HP turbine. Okay, after passing from the HP turbine, it can be reheater is it will be have a low amount of It's called a gas heat will be there. So it can be further heat and passes through the low pressure turbine. Okay. After that low pressure turbine, it can be again processed to the regenerator. It is not connected to the atmosphere. That is very important for this case. Okay. So it is not connected to the atmosphere. This process can be transferred into the again regenerators. Okay. So what is the purpose of regenerator? Is a medium of the air can be passed from this after that low pressure turbine. Again is processed from the recooler. So again is coming to the normal stages. Then further we can be moving for the low pressure compressor and it can be connected to the intercooler and the high pressure compressor. So what is the basic difference between the open cycle gas power plant and the closed cycle gas power plant means? So here the air can be one side can be entered. Okay, the exhaust can be connected to the atmosphere for the open cycle. But here not like that. Okay, so here we have to transferring for the closed cycle gas power plant. Here is what happen is the cycle will be continuously. The cycle will be going for the continuously. Again, it can be processed to the same to the low pressure compressor. So it can be processed, can be further, can be high pressure compressor. Then again, its process can be regenerator, combustion chamber, low pressure turbine, again high pressure turbine. So these are the combination we have to generate the power. So here more efficient here cycle is called as a closed cycle gas power plant. Why? Because we have to efficient can be derived from the continuous man. Okay, so for not for consider for the open cycle gas power plant, not like that. Okay, so it's a one kind of process can be completed. The gas will be exhaust to the atmosphere. So another time we have to enter the new air intake. Okay, so that is a basic difference of closed cycle and open cycle gas plant. So next class we discussing about the solar power plant. How is it working as a solar power? Thank you.